Hi, everyone. I'm Kyler from the Content Mix, and I'm excited to be here with Daniela Klein, Content Marketing Manager at Trusted Shops. Germany native Daniela has been involved in digital marketing for over 7 years. Upon completing a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies in Bamberg, she dived into the world of project and content management soon after, working at different organizations in Germany. Always curious and challenging herself, Daniela's ambition and drive are what led her to her current role at Trusted Shops. Trusted Shops is all about providing consumers trust while online shopping. As the world becomes more and more digital, companies like Trusted Shops are essential as they provide buyer protection and real security while moving through the digital marketplace. And the importance of Daniela's role is quite obvious as she strives to foster trust through content marketing campaigns and strategies that connect with Trusted Shop's target audience. And we're very excited to have Daniela on today's show. So without much further ado, thank you so much for joining us, Daniela.
Hi, Kyler. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And thank you so much for, being interested in joining us today on the Content Mix. Now, just to get this conversation kick-started, I kind of want to know a bit more in your own words about who you are, where you're from, and what's your connection to content marketing in Europe.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm originally from Bavaria, so
Okay.
I grew up there near Munich, you could say, not like the city part of Munich, but nearby. Going through my school, my education there, then deciding to move to like northern Bavaria, to go to Bamberg, as you mentioned, to study there. Because I wanted to move somewhere new, but not too far away from home. And I did my studies there at the Otto Friedrich Universität in Bamberg, communication science and English studies. And after that, I was really ready to go to a bigger city, and I wanted to move to get to know a big city of Germany. Actually, I got to Cologne back then. Wow. That's the place where I now live and where I work now. And it has been a couple of years, but I'm still happy here for the moment being. And
now I have to ask too, because in Bavaria, they speak a different type of German, right? A different dialect. So how was that like moving to Cologne? I feel like they speak like a standard. I don't know.
I don't have the Bavarian dialect, to be honest, because my parents, they are not originally from Bavaria.
Okay.
I understand it, but I wasn't used to speak it a lot.
Speaking it. So. No, because I have friends from that, and they always say there's always like difficulties or,
Yeah. For people not being from Bavaria, that is difficult. But for me and education, with further education, you lose your dialect, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. You're only studying.
That's the sad part of it.
Yeah, it's sad but true, unfortunately. Now, can you just tell us a bit more about why marketing and kind of how did you get involved? And
I studied communication science, which meant a lot of journalism stuff back then, and also like theoretical communication studies and theories, with the combination of English, doing similar stuff that English teachers have to do at university in Germany. And my wish was always to go to a journalism company, so to a newspaper or any publishing services. Throughout my studies, I recognized that journalism is financially really struggling in Germany. So there's not, with all the digitalization, it's not clear how journalism will make it out in the end. So it was not really clear. And from a financial perspective, I changed or decided to move to marketing.
That makes sense. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like a lot of journalists, make that shift into marketing. Like the CEO of Vera Content, and Shaheen, she used to be the host. My co-host on the Content Mix. She was a journalist, for example, and she found that like a lot of the skills that she developed while becoming a journalist was really, really helpful when it came to marketing, like attention to detail, being able to turn over things at a quick rate. And just like knowing how to research things, because obviously journalists, especially if you're working in like a publication that you need to put something out really fast, you need to make sure you do all your research, dot all the I's and cross the T's, as we say in English, to make sure everything's perfect. So did you find a lot of those skills to be helpful in your role now?
Yeah,
in marketing?
absolutely. So what helped me out was that on my private level, on a private level, I've always been a digital native. So I
Mhm.
started online when I was like a teenager. Something with the networks, I think they don't exist anymore, but I got to know them, and I got the usability of them, it helped me out to get that marketing perspective, the digital marketing perspective, for me to say. So I didn't actually I haven't worked so far in the traditional way of marketing, but also always in the digital marketing space.
Mhm.
Because I really like the fast and hands-on atmosphere, the
Mhm.
open-minded people who I met there, and the digital environment, which is really challenging at times, really fast, has its own
Mhm.
dynamic, vibrant, so to call, and creative, and limitless, if
Yeah.
you want to say so.
Super dynamic and definitely fast paced, as you said. There's a lot always changing. You have to be up to date with the latest trends, see what
Yeah,
works and what doesn't work. It's definitely a whole new like ball game, as we would say, in terms
yeah,
of
and
marketing.
one year changes so much in marketing. So yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
keeps
never
you on your
boring.
toes. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Now, one thing I really liked when I found your profile and asked you to be on the show was just how diverse your background was in marketing in the sense of where you've worked. Because you've worked in a number of different industries and organizations, from a company called Convidera, which is a company which specializes in digital transformation consultancy, to Wundernaven, a social media agency, while also doing freelance work. You had that sprinkled throughout as well, including work for Trusted Shops, where you work full time now, which I found interesting too, because where I work full time now too, I was a freelancer initially. So it's kind of something that we have in common. So, in your opinion, how did have these different experiences shaped your professional trajectory?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm really like interested in all the things I do, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't do things to get them done, but to be happy about them and to be like interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
So working for customers was part of my first working experiences, and it was really nice. It is so different with regard to the customers you serve. So the different target groups, the different touch points, the different understanding of content marketing, of marketing itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. So every day, every new customer is a new challenge, where you can show yourself and your skills, and you can train on your skills. And project management is for sure always like a task you need if you work with customers, but also in my current work at Trusted Shops, it's a big part of it. And yeah, I think the big variety in different projects and working stations is really like fruitful for me. So yeah, I think the freelance tasks, additionally, they help you to think in smaller goals, and to show you that smaller companies are happy about smaller things and to
Right.
achievements, and they are often really grateful, and which is nice to see, because in a big company like Trusted Shops, that feeling gets lost sometime.
Right, for sure. And I feel like having different roles, especially working as a freelancer, gives you so much perspective, no, on
Yeah,
just when for example, like I said before, I was a freelancer, and kind of like for me, it was like focusing on those smaller goals and like kind of, but not really knowing where I fit into the picture. And I think what was really cool was being on the other side of it and working with freelancers and kind of knowing what I would have wanted to, like how I wanted to be treated, how important like the freelancers I thought I was to the project, and kind of making sure that as the project manager I was kind of showing that to the freelancers as well. It was super important, I think. And it kind of shows you like how everyone fits into the puzzle and how not everything is valuable, right? Every part of the
exactly.
collaboration is important.
Yeah.
But I also liked, yeah, your profile is really diverse and for such a short period of time. And also kind of how that kind of gave you different perspectives on different things, and also seeing how different people work. Um, Now, as I said before, you freelance for Trusted Shops, and what did you do for them in that sense? Like what kind of
Um,
freelance work?
well, it was social media management and some consultancy and some creative brainstorming, establishing new formats, but also setting up a new channel, and doing the output there. That was my
Yeah.
freelance so far. So really different, because one was like purely B2B customers and one was B2C, obviously, food industry. So really direct to consumer, if you want to say so. Yeah.
It's totally different. Now, you've also been working at Trusted Shops now for over 2 years. And it's a company that you've described as a place which enables trust in digital landscape and develops new market-ready products while also focusing on organizational growth and change management. So kind of why did you say that? What makes it a special place? And how has that been like fruitful for your career in marketing?
Well, Trusted Shops was like the biggest company I've worked for so far.
Mm-hmm.
We are nearly 800 employees, so that's really a big thing for me. And obviously the way to work and to think is really different from agency side or from the consultancy side. Is really different. It is never boring. It is really fast growing and changing all the time. So because we do a lot of organizational changes with also like developing new products to customers and consumers, a big E2C and a big B2B section in marketing, especially. It's never we never stand still there. So we have a lot of pace in our goals, and we really want to grow bigger. But we're working with a really agile way to work. And it's really interesting. So every day is special, and we especially profited from pandemic, because many people do online shopping obviously now, and new customers went online because of the lockdowns, and
definitely, and people needed more like protection, right, with online shopping for sure, because especially just as people were probably like the increase, right, of people shopping online, I'm sure there was an increase of people scamming people online and trying to get money fast and stuff like that. Now, before I ask you more a bit about the work you do at Trusted Shops, I wanted to know, what's your favorite aspect of the job for you, something that really kind of drives you?
I like the international company side we got. So we are expanding throughout Europe at the moment. And I'm currently working on that because I'm responsible for the B2C consumer websites, obviously, and working with my team on getting these websites set up and relaunching the design and all the stuff and making them more usable for the consumers throughout Europe. And I think that's a big thing for not only Germany, where we are really big at the moment, but also like other countries, Spain, Italy, and more.
Now, Trusted Shops is started in Germany. So they're a German company, and now they're expanding. So you said Spain, Italy. What other markets are you working in currently?
Poland, France, so almost all the European countries.
What's been the biggest challenge for you as you've expanded into those markets?
Well, Germans are obviously not Italians, and that even displays when talking about online shopping. So Spanish people have other needs than German people have, and especially when it comes to insurances, that could be a different way to think about that. And French, for sure, they also like got a different understanding of insuring themselves, and that's really interesting for Trusted Shops to do.
So like in terms of the content you're producing to go on the websites, you have to localize each one and change each one, right?
But also for the product development itself. So could we just get the same product as we got in Germany, or in Germany and Austria? Could we just publish it there, or do we have to make any adjustments?
Product, especially because you have to remember, like, people are like, the consumers are using different websites in every country. So it's kind of like you have to make sure, everyone's way of online shopping is not universal, which is super interesting.
Exactly.
As we have already discussed many times, Trusted Shops is Europe's leading trust brand. So they help online shoppers know how to, shop around safely and securely. So oftentimes we discuss how good quality content is key to building trust with the company's users and customers. I feel like that's whenever we talk about content marketing, that's like one of the big things, is trying to build trust and make yourself seem like a peer, right, as a very reliable source. Now, for you, that must be really important because you're trying to, provide people with trust and safety while online shopping, but also trying to make sure that you, like, Trusted Shops is a trusted shop, essentially. So what role does content marketing play in Trusted Shops client relations? And do you find it to be an effective tool in fostering this trust that's so essential to your company?
Well, yeah, that's for sure more marketeers than just me at Trusted Shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, for our B2C segment, we really want to be an advisor and to help out people when just Googling shops or shopping online. So we just want to have them educated how to look at a shop and what things could be important for one. Or what extra services are important to buy safe online, or what browser specific things, or any information security things. So these are the content pieces which I am mainly publishing on our blog. So our magazine, we got a corporate magazine for our consumers, which I am responsible for. And so we really want to have people be aware of the insecurities the online world offers. So and so online shoppers, to make them go sophisticated through their online shopping process. And but for the shop owners, it's completely different. So this is my colleagues doing that, and they even have different content pieces for sure.
For sure. Now, we've mentioned before, kind of, you call yourself a jack of all trades. You have experience in digital transformation and project management. Now, we also touched upon a bit how that skill set helps you at your job at Trusted Shops, and especially in content marketing. But I was also curious to know, like, what's your typical day like at work, and how do you use these skills on a daily basis?
Yes. For sure, in a fast-growing company, being fast is always a good way.
Yeah.
So I am working really fast, but also always with an open eye for the quality, for sure. To be open-minded and flexible is for sure really important, which is part of my skill set and my character, so to say. Which also helps me in content marketing decisions. You need to be a really good observer. And to do prioritizations, and to structure your workday, which is a big part of our work, because as a marketing team in a big company, all the stuff gets on your desk, and you need to structure to prioritize the things and the tasks you got. How does a typical day look for me? I'm normally, when I start working, I'm doing some community management, having a look at our community. Is there anything special that they have open a discussion on Facebook or some Instagram posts? For sure, also a quick read through some news, so some general news in the morning after checking mails and appointments for the day. And we got our team daily afterwards, so where we speak with other marketeers about the different tasks we got for the day, so like the agile daily working format. And I'm spent for sure some time on planning and creating the editorial content for our accounts and our blog. Briefing is always a part, so I work with agencies, with freelance texters and top copywriters, and also with a working student, who needs to be briefed on a daily basis, and just checking on the quality and doing some strategy issues for sure.
Wow, so you definitely have a lot on your plate. It seems like you're definitely busy at Trusted Shops. Are you working remotely? So you're doing this all remote?
Yeah, we do have an office here. We do have several offices, to say, in Europe, but it's open, but we're working mainly remote at the moment. So it's everybody's free choice. I'm there for once a week, 1 or 2 times a week. But
that's nice.
Yeah, because I live in Cologne and I live nearby, so that's
why not go.
Office, that's sweet to just go on the bike and hop there. I like it, and I'm happy to just leave my home office from time to time.
Yeah, from time. So has it been difficult though to manage all these people and manage all these tasks remotely? I feel like that's also been a challenge for a lot of people. Since the pandemic, it's kind of shifting to this whole online, workplace where people didn't know the digital tools to use to help manage teams or assign tasks. So how's that been for you?
I think for us as a marketing team, that has been really good because we have been working with Slack even before pandemic times. But I can imagine many colleagues who have not worked so digital, they experience some problems with being just online all the time. And we're using ticket tools, so like Jira, workspaces, and everything to ensure the transparency. Which makes working and collaboration really smooth and easy. But yeah, I could imagine many other teams, they really needed to get to know these tools.
Exactly. I definitely felt the same. Like we already had to use these tools before, and my company was partially remote before the pandemic. So like we kind of were ready to make the switch, but definitely a challenge and it really depends on the industry, as you said. Now, I'm just also curious, throughout your career, we touched upon a lot of different aspects of your career. What has been an example of a campaign or a piece of content that worked really well for you? It doesn't have to be from Trusted Shops, but it can just be something that you've experienced over the years.
But I could also talk about one at Trusted Shops.
Yeah, go for it.
Because one of our outstanding content piece is actually a monthly fake shop posting. So we're doing some monthly research on fraud shops, which are likely to be like fraud, which can only be detected when you take a further look at them. And we create a list which is published on one of our sites and in various social media postings. And they are usually really successful with a nice picture, but also like the content is really helpful for the shoppers actually, because they share it on their own boards and on their own walls, and it's really like they are really happy about it, and that makes their day really nice because they also express their thank you feelings on our wall. And
it's really nice because it kind of it shows them that you're also like what you do behind the scenes, kind of what work you do, and also that you care. I think that really must come off, that people are like, wow, this company posts this list, and it's like they care about and they're showing us what's true, what's fake, and kind of how we should navigate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on the other side, we are, from B2B perspective, we are selling our trust mark, which obviously is the opposite of fake shops. So that's really like interesting for our brand as well, because we get like don't shop here, but shop here in our shop. They are they are absolutely secure for you, and you get your insurance through us, and you get your money back if anything gets wrong there.
Right. So it seems like you're super transparent, and it's kind of like the idea that kind of drives, all your marketing campaigns is being transparent and showing that trust, which is so important.
Yeah, exactly. And to be a trustful advisor for the shopping people.
For sure. Yeah. So content's super, super important to help you with that for sure. Yeah. Now, since you have so much experience, I have to ask you this question because it's kind of a question I usually ask a lot of the guests is what do you think some companies get wrong when it comes to content marketing? So you've worked in different agencies, consultancies, you've seen a lot of content marketing before, and I wanted to know, what do you think people get wrong when it comes to content marketing?
I think it's important to know that content marketing is not content marketing. It is not always the same. It has to be always like connected to the goals one has. So one company or one person has, because it's not just one recipe for all the success.
Right.
But you need to try out, and you need to test different things, and you need to be curious, and you need to be you need to try things out and to gain insights about your goals and about your target group and about what works out for you and your accounts, and not just one thing. I could do it for all the people, but no, you need to really find out what is your goal and what is your USP and what is all that about.
Yeah. So that's something that you would say it's important, right? A skill to have is to be able to know and focus on what your company has to offer, whatever brand you're representing, and not comparing yourself with others. No.
Yeah, exactly. And to be open to invest. So to invest in A/B testing for sure. to see. So you could just say that post is successful for Trusted Shops, but that post does not have to be successful for other brands.
Exactly.
Even if they work in the same section or something. But every target group and every person in there, every touch point is different. So my blog people are not the same as they are on social media. Even if it's one brand, it's really different. So
you really have to do trial and error, take risks.
Between all the different target groups and people, and that is true for every account.
And I think like a lot of people, like consumers, right? What we want now. If you look at like, YouTube channels and influencers, for example, like there's so many of them now. So we're all looking for like diverse, like a unique approach to it, like a certain topic, or like your content needs to be unique. It needs to stand out. And I think that's what you're kind of suggesting as well, is that make it unique for your brand. So stop comparing yourself and see what works with your target audience and see how they react in general. Now, to someone that's kind of I know you're not recently graduated, but you are relatively young, right? We're still young people in this field. So it's fresher in your mind now, but I wanted to know if you have any advice for someone just starting out now, because on the show, we always try to feature people who are, could be the experts in their field and have 20 years of marketing experience, but also people with 7 years like yourself. Like and we also have listeners that are from all aspects of the spectrum, right? In terms of how much experience they have. And some people don't have any at all. So kind of what advice would you give to someone that's interested in marketing, but doesn't know where to start?
Well, I think it is more important than ever to be ready for an ever-changing environment. So our digital world is so diverse. It's so fastly moving. It is really like different than it was 10 years ago, because there's so much content out there. You really need to find your place there, and to be calm and to concentrate, even though the world is changing all the time. I think this is a really key skill nowadays. To produce own content is always helpful. So I think all the content marketing stuff nowadays, and even for younger people, it will change more to become like a content creator yourself. Many Gen Z people are already content creators, more than my generation, to be honest.
For sure.
It's really useful because you don't start with on the bottom level, but you can really like have a certain experience, even if it was just private use. Yeah. And I would also like suggest to aim to be a specialist in one content marketing discipline, but not to be like an all-rounder as I am. but for future times, I would say like I think that the specialty is the most valuable thing you got.
That's super interesting. And it's better. I think a lot of times we always focus on trying to do everything and at once and like be experts in everything, rather than just focusing on maybe what you're passionate about or one area that you really drives you and becoming a specialist. Because I think what you suggested before with like the Gen Z and all these people who are content creators, right? What we're looking now is uniqueness and having people who are specialized in certain things. Because now we have so much, right? People are offering so much. So it's definitely important to have your niche.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are a really outstanding, great YouTube creator, stay there. That's really, really cool for the beginning. You don't have to be like an Instagram and Facebook and YouTube all the time. So do one thing really in a good way. And I think that really is wanted also on the job market in future times.
For sure. Now, we're going to continue with this whole, theme of recommendations. And I want to know, as someone who works in marketing and someone who's been very successful, what daily habits would you attribute to your success? Do you have any that you'd share with the audience?
Well, I do yoga for sure.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it helps you to calm down, and I also enjoy wow. I like the word.
But like yoga is super helpful with mindfulness, for example, and being able to
and the breathing technologies you can learn there. You can you can experience so much about yourself and your body, which is really like interesting for me. But I also enjoy going outside, especially when being in the home office all day. Just changing perspectives, changing the views, changing the workspace. changing the workplace. So all
Yeah,
the
it's so
other things
important.
which could be changed. I also enjoy from time to time to go to a co-working space to see different people, and to gain new insights. Even without talking to people, you could just have a new working environment, which is
It
really
really helps.
helpful. And it also gets you like down to earth and appreciating all the stuff you got.
Exactly. And I feel like what all those things touch upon is like mental health, right? And I feel like that's
Yeah,
something we've learned a lot in the past year. It's how important it is to make sure you go for a walk, make sure you do stuff not just for your brain, but also for your body. Make sure,
yeah,
eating well and exercising because it all goes together. And I think a lot of times people forget that. And it was very easy to get caught in that cycle and lockdown of being like, okay, like as a stay at home all day and do nothing. And it's like, no, you
yeah,
have to make sure you stay fresh and with it and make sure you treat your body and mind like well, essentially.
yeah. And for my case, it is I couldn't. I'm not a fan. I couldn't be a fan. I couldn't become a fan of the virtual sports. So
Yeah.
I didn't like the training with from the laptop or something. But I
Yeah.
started a new hobby, which is road cycling, because
Oh
it went
wow.
well for me. And I started within the pandemic just to have my mental, to have my outside world connected without having people around me. So not the need, and you were happily able to do that in the
Mm,
lockdowns, even in Germany,
that's so
especially.
nice.
And it's really nice, and it's really like it's so exhausting. So you need to just concentrate on that. If you do like
Exactly.
do like tours 50 kilometers and more, and it helps me really to just find new power for myself and for my daily work. Yeah,
Wow, that's really cool. No, I definitely think the power of exercise is super important. And especially like you said, concentrating on one thing and that helps you kind of meditate in a way that you don't have to think about anything else. All the stresses from work or your personal life, it kind of just all goes away, which is
yeah.
we need to do that sometimes. And also like treating ourselves is what I say, right? We have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Um, Now switching gears a bit, do you have any source of inspiration or like a role model that you think has helped you, I don't know, in your career?
Wow, not in my career, but in my life. I enjoy all the strong females
Mm,
being out there and not being quiet, but showing themselves and their achievements and being loud. And for sure, I just one of them is for sure Michelle Obama. I think.
yeah.
Who's not a fan? And I think her book Becoming is really like mind blowing. And there's many. I'm really happy about the feminist part we're now going into, and the strong females which are being displayed on all the media now,
It's
because
so
I'm really
important.
happy. Yeah,
And it's kind of like about time, right? Like this is
yeah, it is
happening.
about
It's
time.
like there's always been inspiring women. I just don't think we've had access to them.
Yeah,
Um, I definitely say Michelle Obama is inspirational as well. I have to I agree with you on that one, especially that someone as an American is very proud of having
yeah,
people like that lead our country.
yeah.
Um, Now, you recommended The Becoming by Michelle Obama, so that's a book that you thoroughly enjoyed. But do you have any other recommendation when it comes to apps, tools, or platforms or books?
Yeah, I think I could tell about a network which is called
Mm,
Global Digital Women. I'm not sure if you've heard about it, but I
no,
think it's mainly German. I'm not really sure, but it's a women network with a lot of inspiring and successful women. It has a LinkedIn group, it has some events, it has a Facebook group, and all the stuff. And really successful and inspirational women. They publish their posts there, and they show their insights, and they talk about their work life and also their financial situation and the work life balances and all the stuff. So I really like that one.
that's really cool. And make sure to share this with them as well in the group to show your interview. But also, I think it's a really what's really been interesting during this like digital age that we're in, and with especially the pandemic, is the amount of networking and like community we can build online. And I think it's really nice. Like as a woman, for example, you're a woman working in this industry, and you can talk to other people who
Yeah,
are just ambitious like you are, driven. You can also share advice. I think it's really, really nice, and it gives people like that comfort of knowing that there's someone out there that's in a similar position as them. You're not alone. And in a time where we kind of felt very alone, right? I think
yeah,
the pandemic kind of showed us at the same time we're very connected at the same time.
yeah.
Now,
That's
We're coming to the end of our interview. Unfortunately, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you a bit more and learn about your career and also to hear your insights on different things. Now, just before we go, do you have any final takeaways or a piece of parting advice that you'd like to share with our audience? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but
I think.
I mean, you definitely covered a lot in terms of, and kind of how to get started, or maybe like one thing that you wish you knew before starting your career. How about that?
I think. I think I would place a message for all the young females out there. So, just do not let anybody get you down, even if it's especially when it's about business. Do not let any males get you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and be courageous about it, and do your own thing, do your own and follow your own path.
Yeah, and be proud of what you do. And I think
exactly.
It's important, like our generation, I hope that the change will come, right? When people are treated equally in the workplace, and that it's so mind-boggling that we have to deal with these things in 2021. But you're a great example of a strong woman that is advocating for, feminist issues, but also, passionate about it as well. So it's definitely good to know that people like you exist in the world. Now, so I found you on LinkedIn. We connected on LinkedIn, but what's the best way to get in touch with you? Would it be LinkedIn, or like if people wanted to reach out to you after the interview?
Yeah, LinkedIn is the best.
That's perfect. So everyone, you can find Daniela on LinkedIn. And again, Daniela, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It was a pleasure to get to know you. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in. So for more perspectives on the content marketing industry in Europe, check out veracontent.com/mix and keep tuning into the podcast for more interviews with content experts around Europe. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, Daniela.
Thanks. Bye-bye.